Bonjour mes amis. Today I'm going to show you how to water your kokedama. You are going to need a container. So I have a nice little glass container here. You can use any container, like it can just be a little bowl or a Tupperware container. That will do just fine as well. You need your kokedama. And then you also need something to pour water with. If you are at the sink, then you don't need a watering can. But if you need to sort of travel from between where you're watering and where your water is, then you'll want to have a watering can. And it's super duper easy to water. So you just take your kokedama, put it into your container. And you want to make sure the container is, tall-ish and wide-ish so that it can hold some water. So like a good amount of water anyways. And the other thing that I have is I always recommend that you fertilize your kokedama after 2 to 3 months because there isn't a lot of soil in the ball. Like you can see, it's a pretty small ball of soil in there. And that gets exhausted pretty quickly. And you don't have to use anything fancy for the fertilizer, but I have some, this is like just some like Miracle-Gro stuff that you can get at the garden center, but you can also get the liquid fertilizer drops from Schultz. And there's tons that you can use, and you just follow the instructions for the dilution, and I'm gonna sort of swirl this to mix it up a little bit. And this one is blue, and I think they make it blue so that you know that it's not just water and somebody doesn't drink it by accident. So people always ask, oh, do you just pour water on it? And I'm gonna do that right now so that you can see. You can see that the water just runs off of the side of the moss ball. So you couldn't really water it like you would a potted plant. So what we do is just fill it up here. And if your kokedama is not too dry, then you'll be fine filling it up more. So I usually recommend filling it so that the water level is about halfway up the moss ball. And that's because sometimes with the moss ball is super light, it'll float and your kokedama will fall over. So if you have a flowering one, sometimes it'll fall over and knock off the flowers, or you can break some branches and things like that. But if it's not floating and you fill it up a little bit higher, it's starting to float now. But if you fill it up a little bit higher, then the kokedama will soak up water just a little bit faster than if there's less water. People also ask, how often should I water my kokedama? And that is a question that the answer is depends. It depends on the plant. A lot of tropicals in a place as dry as Calgary is, where I am, you'll be watering every 2 to 3 days, depending on the plant. So if you have a succulent, which is, sort of cactusy and they have big thick leaves, you can get away with once a week. This orchid here is a water once a week as well. So we just let this sit here for about 10 minutes. Then you take out your kokedama from the water. It's going to be really drippy. And it's not super drippy for a long time. And you can put it in the sink to let it drip, or you can take a little towel once it's no longer running water out like crazy and just towel it off a little bit. And you can see that it's no longer dripping, and if I touch it, it's moist, but it's not super wet. And so once you're done with the watering, you can set your water aside, and then you can put your kokedama back on display. If you have more than one kokedama to water, then you can water them either together or separately if they fit in the same container. You can see this orchid one is quite a bit bigger, and you can see that it wants to float because it's a little bit dry because it's water once a week. And so if the ball wants to float and it wants to tip over, you can try to balance it, or if you hold it for a little while, it will soak up some water and then it'll be heavy enough to stay in place. So I'm going to fill this up just a little bit more carefully, and it wants to float now. So I'm just going to hold it so that it can fill up, and hopefully it'll be able to stand on its own here pretty soon. Kind of trying to balance it on the side of the container, and so there we go. So this one, because it's a larger one, it's going to take probably about 15 to 20 minutes to really fill up, and we want to get really deep watering with the kokedama because the sides are just all moss here. We don't have a pot to retain the moisture, so that means we get lots of evaporation. So when we water, we want to get a really good deep watering. It's been about 20 minutes now, and you can see that the moss up here has changed to a deeper color, so we know that the water has absorbed in there. And if you pick it up, you will feel that your kokedama ball is quite a bit heavier than it was before you watered it. So we're going to let this drip, and it drips a lot more just because the ball is larger. And if you have a tray like this one that's not flat, that can catch some of the drippings, then you don't have to towel off as much. You can just set it down and it's ready to go on display. If you have any questions at all, you can throw those in the comments as well, and that way I know what you guys want to know, and then I can do some future videos for that. Until next time, au revoir!